What's up, guys? I'm back. Another session of frequently asked questions with the blind guy. So, if you guys are tuning in for the first time, again, my story is that I lost my sight in 2015, and I had two strokes in the back of my eye, which they call central retinal occlusion. I thought it was like three other different names, but that is the actual name for what happened to my eyes. Central retinal occlusion. Now, these two strokes came out of nowhere. Never felt them happening, and left me almost fully blind, 90% blinded. And right now, since then, it's been 5 years, a little over 5 years, and I've gained sight back in my right eye. Um, so all in all, I would say I have about 35% sight overall because I'm still blind in my left eye. But back to the frequently asked questions. There was one question that um, was asked, and the question was, how did my parents take it? Well, where were my parents? How did my family take it when it happened to me? How did they basically support you throughout your recovery and your rehabilitation? And basically, when it happened to me, my mother and my father were on their wedding anniversary weekend in New York. And they get a call because while I was at the hospital, I couldn't use my phone because I couldn't see anything that was on my phone. And at that time, I didn't know about VoiceOver or VoiceOver, which is on the iPhone, and Voice Assistant, which is on your standard Android or Google phones. So I didn't know about those programs or anything like that. So I had to tell the nurse or the doctor, because they asked me if I had any family locally, and I said my mother, my father, they're away right now. But you can go through my phone and look for a name that says Godmom. They called my Godmom. She wasn't able to answer right away, and I said look for another number named Esther. They called my Aunt Esther, and she was able to get in contact with my parents. And my mother and my father got to Cooper Hospital in Camden, New Jersey, in an hour and a half when they were 3 hours away. So you can just about, just from knowing that, you can pretty much tell what type of emotional status they were in, or status they were in. Um, my father initially, I know my dad. He's a very strong guy. He doesn't wear his emotions on his face. But there was an instance in the hospital where the doctors had ran all the tests, and it's the first day going in the hospital. After sitting in the back of the emergency room in a private room for 5 hours, finally the doctors came out, and the nurse came in, and they were about to tell me tell me everything that happened. And the nurse came up to me and held my hand, and she kind of held it pretty tight. Now I remember, which was odd because it's like it was almost like a don't let go type of hold, or stay with me type hold. So I knew something was wrong, but I was going to let the doctors tell me. So I heard my dad scream, "Why are you holding his hand?" And I'm like, "Dad, chill out. she just hold. I don't see anything wrong with it. She just hold my hand. She, it's like a comfort thing. But what I didn't understand was because I couldn't see her, was that she was crying because she knew what was wrong from what she heard from the doctors, but she couldn't tell me because it was, against the rules to tell me until the doctors came in. So I didn't find out that she was crying until later on, I believe when I left the hospital, because I was in the hospital for 6 days. When my dad finally told me why he screamed at her, he didn't scream. He didn't necessarily scream at her. He was just, very emotional because nobody knew what was going on. It's 5 hours have passed and my sight still has not come back, and it's looking like the worst. You start to think about thoughts in your head about surgery. Is there anything that can happen after this is over? Whatever they tell me, is there anything that can help me to get my sight back? And when you hear the doctors come in and say, well, we got good news and bad news. And the bad news is that your left eye is completely blind. Okay, what's the good news? The good news is you retained some sight in your right eye, but it's going to get worse before it gets better. And in my head, I'm like, how is these two things good news at all? Or everything's bad. Everything's bad to me. So, I cried like a little baby. For real. Said it wasn't fair. I didn't do anything. Knowing good and well, my whole life was just like, just utter mistake after mistake after mistake of me just doing whatever I wanted to do and, just running the streets and not really giving a care in the world about preserving my life. So basically I was lying to myself in the bed after they told me that. But for my parents, it was a very traumatic experience. I'm their only child. So after me, there's nobody. And, so to see their child sitting in the bed helpless was pretty hard for them. My dad, like I said, he's a pretty strong guy. He doesn't wear his emotions on his face, but he was a great motivating force in my rehabilitation because he stayed calm throughout everything. Like I don't remember seeing him getting out of character or getting emotional during the time of my even up until now. I don't think he gets emotional. I don't see it. Other people may see it, but I don't hear it. And I'm pretty good at fishing out emotions from a person's voice, and I don't hear from him. My mother, I'm her only boy and only child, and she's my stickler because she no matter what how far along in my progress I got, she was always making sure that I step up the curb right. Watch out for the curb. Watch out for that pole. The door's on your right. The door's on your left. Watch out for the chariot. This, that, and the third. Not gonna lie. To a person who is trying to be independent, it's very annoying. But at the same time, you'll appreciate that type of help because nobody has to help you. People can leave you, stranded out there. And I'm gonna talk about that. That's one of the other questions that was asked to me. But my mother, she's my stickler. My dad, he's the let him walk alone in the dark. He'll be all right type guy, you know. But all the while he'll still be, you know, walking behind you just to make sure that you know, if you just so happen to fall into a predicament, he got you. But I could tell that it still um hurts my mom a little bit because I make jokes about myself a lot. When I say a lot, like every third sentence is a joke about how I can't see. So and I think, you know, it pains her because, you know, I didn't get to experience the pain that she felt seeing her child in the bed helpless. Um, so I think that's the one thing that really gets to her a lot. Um, but on my end of the stick, my humor is uh, my humor is my therapy because, you know, other than my humor, you know, I got God and my family, but my humor is what keeps me sane. It keeps me from losing my mind, honestly. Um, it keeps me from crying a lot. It keeps me from asking the questions that'll depress me, you know. So humor is my therapy, and it works pretty well for me. Um, until one instance, I made a joke on myself that kind of backfired on me because it ended up making me cry. So, but other than that, uh, my humor is my therapy. Uh, you know, but my mother and my father, they're pretty good with it. You know, right now they let me be independent. Of course, they're still parents at the end of the day, so they do, you know, help out and have those questions or give certain type of advice and give me certain things to think about and look at. But all in all, my parents are good now. At first, it was a very, 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 very traumatic experience, but right now, they're pretty good with it. Now, number two, the question is, uh, how many people uh, were supportive of you, you know, going through your rehabilitation and, um, you know, just trying to acclimate to life? Well, I can tell you right now, before I lost my sight, my phone used to ring every day. I used to get text message at least 50 every day, at least 4 voicemails. Phone would ring at least 50 times every day without a, I wouldn't say 50, let's say 25. 20, it would ring 25 times, but my text message I would get like 50 every day, asking me where the party at, where the girls at, what's the next move tonight, what's the mood tonight, what we gonna do, what's up, what's up, I got money on the bottles, what's up, you know, stuff like that. I was in the hospital for 6 days, and you know, the streets talk, so it got on Facebook very fast that Chaquez is in the hospital. There were 4 rumors that were out there. One was that I got stabbed. No, I've been stabbed before, but no, that wasn't it. I got shot. No. My heart stopped. No. And I lost my sight. That was the right one. That was the right one. Um, I was in the hospital for 6 days. Um, there were some people that came up that were able to come up to the room. There were some people who said they made it down to the lobby, but they weren't allowed to let them up because it was already too many people upstairs, which I believe from some of the people. But yeah, people came to see me. But after those 6 days spent in the hospital, I didn't get too many calls. Didn't get too many text messages. Didn't get too many voicemails. It was a bunch of time just spent sitting in the dark and nobody really checking up on you. There were people who did, you know. Of course, my best friend, Dominique. Stan, my little sister, Tanisha, CJ, Chris, it's many other people. I just don't want to miss names, but all the people that I've known over the course of my life, and I've come in contact with, and I've really, stayed down with, not a lot of them reached out to me, and granted, some of them didn't even know, but the other ones that did know, they didn't reach out. Months went by with these people who used to call me every day, text me every day, not reaching out, not saying anything because they knew. And all in all, I already knew what it was. They thought I was a liability. Nobody wants to hang out with a blind guy. Because now you have to be, it takes away from your personal, individual experience of fun and all that. And you don't want to have to watch after a guy who can't really, move around for himself and all that, this, that, and the third. And that's cool. I understand that. But, I understand who people really, really are now. Something that my mother and my father used to tell me when I was younger, but I didn't want to listen. Everybody ain't your friend. They associates, but you don't put too much stock in people, especially when you see their true colors. And I saw their true colors. So, it is what it is. But, I've had a very great support system. So many names. My cousin Nikki, my big brother Smooth, my best friend, like I said, Dominique, CJ, Stan, Wes, Rob, Uncle Nice, Keith. I mean, it's so many names. Please don't be offended if I missed you or didn't say your name. But y'all know who y'all are. Because if I still mess with y'all now, then y'all know y'all still got a place in my heart. Y'all know y'all still got something here for me. No matter where I go in life, I'm gonna still keep y'all close to my heart. But that's the type of support I had. I had support, and Jay Bug, yeah, I had to say him. That's my brother. But yeah, I had this experience to let me know who the real ones were and what people were going to be there when you were at your lowest. And these were the people who were there for me when I was at my lowest. I can't forget about, my big brother, James. Can't forget about my big sister, LaShonda. Can't forget about my wife. My beautiful wife, we started, being friends around like 2016. And, from then it just blossomed into like, what we have now, Just ask the girl, brother. Ask the girl. Don't be afraid to ask her, man. Go ahead and ask her, because I did. I said, I just want to be your friend, in hopes that, something greater would come out of it, and it did. So, shout out to Big Man. Yeah, so, I definitely love the support system that I have, with my people. We may not talk every day, but all you gotta do is call me, and I'll call you, and then that's it. That's it in a nutshell. But if you guys have any more questions to ask me, feel free to send them in my inbox. You can even text me if you got any questions or whatever. That's if you have my number. But I will be back on here doing another session with frequently asked questions to a blind guy. I love you guys. God bless.